It's been a while, I know. Hope you're doing great. Welcome back to the channel. I was gone because I basically ran out of things to share here. I didn't want to make a video just to make one, and I didn't want to force a monthly favorites because honestly I didn't encounter anything that was worth sharing. So yeah, until I found the book we're going to discuss today. It's a very short, very concise book. It's more than 1,000 years old, so it's very old. But you know the saying, old but gold, it pretty much applies here. So, ladies and gents, it is Al-Munqidh min d-Dalal, or Deliverance from Error, by Abu Hamid Al Ghazali, or as Westerners like to call him, Al Ghazali. I highly recommend you check it out. It answered many questions I had and introduced me to a sound definition about what Sufism is about. And I'm not going to make a summary of it in this video. I'm just going to talk about some points that I found interesting and share them with you. But if you're interested in a summary, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try and do that for you in an upcoming video, God willing. For those of you who don't know, Al Ghazali was a polymath of Persian origin. He basically lived in the second half of the 5th century Al-Hijri, which is the Islamic calendar. He was a Muslim scholar, a law specialist, and a philosopher and a Sufi. He's considered as one of the most prominent and influential figures in these fields. This man, Rahmatullah alayhi, was a genius of his time. I mean, he mastered all the knowledge that was available at the time at a very young age, and he learned all these intellectual tools like logic and rhetoric, and he had this incredible encyclopedic mind. And so he made many contributions and had this important output at a very young age, to the point that he was appointed as head professor at Al-Nizamiya school in Baghdad under the Seljuk Empire. So, and that was quite a big deal and unprecedented for a young man at the time. His work was so highly acclaimed by his contemporaries that they awarded him the honorific title the Hujjat al-Islam, which translates to the proof of Islam. As I said, he wrote many books. Like, most famous ones are Ihya Ulumuddin, or the revival of the religious sciences. He also wrote Maqasid al-Falasifa, the aims of the philosophers, and Tahafut al-Falasifa, or the incoherence of the philosophers. The book we're discussing today, Deliverance from Error, was written towards the end of his life, and it presents in some sort of kind of summary to his knowledge journey with bits of his autobiography. So he presents his ideas and thoughts about religion and philosophy and Kalam and Sufism. The main idea of the book is that the certain knowledge, or al-ilm al-yaqini, is that in which the thing known reveals itself without leaving any room for doubt or any possibility of error or illusion. And to him, that kind of knowledge can only be attained through Sufism. He starts the book by addressing someone who asked him to reveal to him the purpose and secrets of the sciences, and to recount him what he's been through to distinguish the truth from error in different disciplines. That person also wanted to know why Al Ghazali abandoned his teaching position in Baghdad and went on what we can consider as a sabbatical for about 11 years. For him, in his case, he wasn't planning to go back, so that's a bit different. But he did eventually, and so he wanted to know what made him come back to teaching after leaving for that long. And this part is actually my favorite from the book. Of course, the ideas and critiques are very important in regard to his aim from the book, but that part was personal, and you can see the human side of the author, and it was moving, to be honest. If you can read Arabic, I would recommend you read the book in its original language. Ghazali is such a delight to read. He has this unique literary style, and especially this part is so beautifully written and poetic and genuine, and so it just speaks right to the heart. Ghazali is known for his style of getting straight to the point. He doesn't beat around the bush. He gets right to the bottom of things, and he brings you smoothly to understand his point with well-ordered argumentation and examples, and you can see this in this book. And in it he talked about this interesting point, like sometimes when you see masters in their fields of knowledge, and we see that like they're atheists, some would think that these people are extremely smart and they don't believe in God, and it's their conclusion, therefore God doesn't exist. In regard to this, Al Ghazali writes in the part about mathematics as a philosophical science. In his classification, he writes, "If faith were true, he will say to himself, how is it that these mathematical experts have not perceived it? As people say that they are heretics and irreligious, truth must consist in rejecting and denying religious beliefs. How many people lost their faith because of this simple argument? The answer is that each technician is a specialist. The lawyer or scholastic is not necessarily a good physician. One who is ignorant of metaphysics is not necessarily ignorant of grammar. Every technique has its unrivaled experts who are ignorant and stupid in other fields. The mathematics of the ancients was founded on proofs. Their study of divinity was founded on speculation. But this can be known only to an experienced person who has made a thorough investigation of the matter. Unfortunately, these considerations escape those whose faith is only a matter of conformism. They persist in having a good opinion of all the philosophical disciplines, driven as they are by vain passions, destructive irony, and the desire to appear clever." He also talked about a very important concept, which is judging truth according to who speaks it. It actually relates to the first point we just mentioned. It's in the part about the dangers of rejecting philosophy altogether, and by that rejecting the truth it has within it. It's because the philosophers who wrote this were atheists. He says that this sort of error is common, and he writes, "That is the mistake made by people of weak minds. They do not recognize the truth except in the mouth of certain people, instead of recognizing people when they speak the truth. On the contrary, a wise man follows the advice of the commander of believers, Ali ibn Abi Talib, who said, 'Do not recognize the truth in the mouth of a certain man, but first recognize the truth, and then you will recognize who are truthful.' An initiate, a wise man, begins by recognizing what is true, and after that examines individual sayings. If one of these is truthful, he accepts it, whether the person who said it is in error or in truth." So that's the sound way to approach knowledge and books and things we read, like always trying to discern what is true from false, despite the source or the author's other beliefs and so on. And also be careful in regard to what we hold as beliefs. Sometimes blind faith, or what Al Ghazali referred to as taqlid or conformism. It was a nice introduction to what Sufism is. It had some presupposed ideas about what it was about. And he had I liked his interpretation of it and how he explained it. We've reached the end of this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not. Keep learning, and take care. Bye bye.